Hi there. Good evening, Manchester City fans, and anybody else who's dropped by to take a look at this video that I'm going to be recording in a couple of minutes' time. Well, starting now, but the main topics of conversation will be in a couple of minutes' time. Just to give you guys a heads up, if you're new to the channel, please think about subscribing. I've done really well of late. Put some effort in. I have getting regular videos out, and with thanks. Big thanks to Mike Long from Bolt from the Blue and Bernard from the Citizen channel. We put out some, I think, decent content over the last couple of weeks, especially tomorrow night. Well, sorry, at some point tomorrow, we will be releasing some videos that we're going to record tonight about football finances. Going to get Colin Savage on. Colin Savage, you know him better as Presswitch Blue. He's a finance expert. He knows more about finances than me, so he counts as an expert. Football finance guru, I call him. And we're going to talk about FFP. We're going to talk about the history of why it came in and what's happened to City. We'll talk about what happened at CAS and the UEFA charges. We're going to talk about these 115 charges made by the Premier League. And we'll get on to Piers Morgan's show. That's all I'm going to call it. I'm not going to chuck in some adjectives there, but we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to have a chat about the future of City's accounts with some potentially very exciting news on the horizon, just to show how big City are. I mean, there's lots of criteria that fans want to chuck out there for how big a club is. On the pitch, City are big. We're a beast on the pitch right now. Winning so many trophies. Obviously got that treble, got the 3-peat and everything else. Over recent times, 5 titles in 6 seasons. We're big on the pitch. And we're big in the finance department as well. Our accounts have been doing really, really well. And so we're going to be talking about the future. And just to let you in onto a secret, future that City might be breaking the £700 million turnover barrier. It's not a barrier, but that ceiling. You know, a few years ago, people never thought that it was possible, that, you know, something like that was possible. But City winning everything that we have won, you know, this in the last season, the last season just gone, our next set of accounts will reflect in a big way. Our next set of accounts will reflect in a big way the achievements of this season in the boardroom or in the finance department. So, you know, obviously winning the Premier League title carries with it a lot of money. Being on TV so much carries with it a lot of money. Winning the Champions League carries with it a lot of money. Being on telly so much carries with it a lot of money. Obviously, additional gate receipts. And the FA Cup, although the prize money isn't huge, there's still some there. And obviously the match day income as well, that we get a share of. So overall, you know, we'll talk about that, and sponsors and new sponsors coming in, all sponsors paying more because, hey, we're even more successful than we were before. So I hope you guys are enjoying your Sunday. I hope you're going to spend the next, whatever it's going to be, 15 to 20 minutes with me. And I hope we enjoy it together. It's a bit windy out, a bit chilly. You know, where's summer gone? Bernard, bring back Bernard, because Bernard brought summer with him. Let's go through some points and then we'll get on with the video. Let's go through some comments. Okay. MCFC protocol says call-in show. Honestly, I would do a call-in show if I knew how to do it. I did shows in the past where we brought people on video callers. We might start doing that again, you know, maybe a regular call-in show. But people have to, the thing with the call-in show, people have to call in and contribute. That's the very nature of a call-in show. I used to do it on the when I was doing women's football. We'd have people call in, but we'd have them lined up. So we didn't generally get people, you know, like just picking up a phone or putting in the link and getting through to us. We generally knew who was coming on most of the time. Sometimes they didn't turn up, but most of the time, most of the callers came up. And we might not know the question, but we knew they were going to be on, and we could rely on them. And that has get us through whatever it was, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or even an hour long show. So I'm happy to do call-in shows. We just need fans to say, yep, put my hand up. And if you want to do that MCFC protocol, put your hand up and say, I want to take part. We'll do it. It's not a problem. You know, there's Bernard knocking about, there's me knocking about, Mike. It's great to be getting one or two more people on as well. Dre, yes, we're going to be talking about Arsenal. You know from the title of this video, the thumbnail and everything else. Arsenal, we're going to basically talk about Arsenal spending a lot of money and why they must win the Premier League title. Not a cup. For what they spent, not a cup. They must win the Premier League title. Okay? Otherwise, their project is a failure. Coming second? Nah. This got to set the sights on the Premier League title. And especially the way their fans are bigging it up in the close season. You know, and surely they should know better than that after what happened last season. They were talking about that they'd won the league title by Christmas, halfway through the season. You know, what was their tally? Was something like they got 50 points after 19 games, and they were talking as if it was done and dusted. Even with about a dozen games to go, they said it was done and dusted. A lot of their, let's say, overbearing fans, and some of them really are overbearing, they said it was done and dusted, and it wasn't. And hey, we all know what happened there. So we're going to talk about Arsenal. Liverpool, obviously Liverpool are doing it as well. £60 million. I think it's a little bit more than that. It was 70 million euros. I don't know what the exchange rate is at the moment, but it would have been the best part of 62, 63 million quid, something like that. After spending 35 on McAllister. Wow. Liverpool, best part of 100 million spent this summer. City, 25 million quid. Hey, that's the way it's done. Sure, that will change over the summer. Klopp is looking like a real hypocrite now, with previously saying he would never spend so much. Absolutely. Hey, Calispira, Alex, hope you well, buddy. Calispira, Game Killer says Arsenal won't win the title. They don't have a goal-scoring machine. Well, look, I will counter that and say when we won the title a couple of times when Sergio Aguero was injured, we relied, a lot of messages coming through, wow. We relied on everybody contributing. We played with a false nine. You know, I think Gundogan 3 seasons back scored 13 league goals. Yeah. Sterling would have got some. KDB gets some. Who else did we have? Everybody was chipping in with goals. Bernardo would have chipped in with some. Mahrez got a decent return. I think everybody chipped in with goals, and they were shared around. So, you know, Arsenal are doing that. You don't need a top-notch goal scorer, and we did it last 2 seasons without. No, not this one. Obviously, we had Ireland the 2 previous seasons. We did it without Sergio. So, obviously, Gabriel Jesus was with us then, and he scored a few goals. Let's go through. Here we go. Hey, good evening, Sean. How you doing, buddy? Big Morgan, big talk from Big Morgan. 4 in a row. Tell you what, mate, we do 4 in a row. We'll be jumping in. Well, let's not use that expression that I was going to use. We'll be dancing down Deansgate if we win 4 in a row. Can you imagine? We still won't get credit from certain other fan bases. Dre, big for the press. And naysayers seems to be only relevant about 20 years ago. It's embarrassing that they don't seem to understand past, present, and future tense. Absolutely. Look, 30 years ago, Villa were one of the biggest teams in the country. Huge fan base, great history. Excuse me. And a great winning history. They had tons of trophies, a very similar number, if not the same, as Manchester United before the big money came in. And sadly for Villa, they didn't do well. And United, lucky for them, they did. But they were very, very similar in terms of what they'd won before that. Game Killer City are bidding for Frankie de Jong soon. I'm not so sure. Pep doesn't go back. Remember that. Pep doesn't go back. You've got a chance. You don't take it. Pep's Oski. Look at Messi. Even someone as mercurial, with the mercurial talent of Messi, Pep didn't go for him when he was available. Because when we wanted him, when the deal was there to be done, it didn't happen. For whatever reason, whether it's not Messi's fault or not, I think City thought, apparently, that he could have pushed it a little bit and he would have got out of the Barcelona. And he didn't. He didn't want to rock the boat. And he ended up getting shown the door a year later. So even Messi, City didn't go for him. There's only one player I can remember City went for, and that was Aymeric Laporte. And when Pep wanted him, he was injured. And Aymeric Laporte didn't want to join when he was injured. He didn't feel it was right thing to do, even though Pep still wanted him. And then he waited till he was fit. First opportunity in the January window, he got Aymeric Laporte. We don't buy in the January window, but we did then. So I'm not sure we're going to go for Frankie de Jong because we wanted him before. Dre says things change. That's life. And every club has their time. Ipswich had their time. Blackburn had their time. And now it's City time again. And that's it. That's what some fans, it's only a minute section of fans, don't want to accept. And the problem is they end up poisoning some half-decent fans as well with their rhetoric and agendas. You get so much stuff on TV, so much stuff on radio and in print, podcasts and YouTube videos and whatever, negative about City. Dre says he would call in. It's just about time zones. When we were doing it before, when I was doing it during COVID on the women's channel, we had a regular time slot. I think Sunday afternoon, it's 6 o'clock or something. So it's one of those things. You pick a regular time slot, and here's the thing: it doesn't have to be me all the time. Obviously, we've got Mike knocking about, Bernard. So it doesn't have to be the same host because I'm a busy man at times. I've got a ton of work. I'm away sometimes working Sundays, Saturdays during the week. So it's not so easy, not so straightforward. But I'd love to be doing a phone-in show for half an hour a day or an hour a day every day. But it's obviously you want new people and old people. You can't just have the same 3 or 4 contributors, 3 or 4 people calling in. If you get half a dozen different people every night and 2 or 3 regulars, yeah, that works for me. Arsenal buying Mbappe coins, 200 million quid. Doubt it. Abdul Rahman, who's getting married, mate? I'm already married. 1 wife is more than enough. Dre, I'm actually interested to see how Arsenal go. Unlike here, I admire good football, even if from rivals, if City lose to a team at their best without biased referee decisions, I would just say well done. I agree. Yeah, Piers Morgan, absolutely dreadful. And remember, guys, I said it at the top of the show, but we will be recording tonight, some videos on football finances, which will be first one will be released tomorrow. We've got Colin Savage on, football finance expert. And we'll be looking at the first 3 videos one will be about FFP, why it came into existence, why it's a lot of rubbish. Second one will be looking at City's history. I think that's the right way I'm doing it. No, the second one will probably be looking at, the first one actually will have some of the history, that's checkered history City had with FFP up until the charges made by UEFA and the CAS. So that will be the second video, charges by UEFA, the CAS, what happened there. And I think the third one will be about those 115 charges and Piers Morgan's dreadful, absolutely dreadful, what do you call it? I forgot the right word, but it's just, he's just taking pot shots at City. It was a dreadful show. But we'll talk about that. Yeah, at Laporte. There we go. Hi, Ryan. Hope you're well. Piers Morgan just wants clicks and views. Hey, don't we all? Hey, come on. Title of this video. I want a few clicks and hits. It's always nice to get a few of them. And if you are new to the channel, please subscribe. Cost you now. And hit that bell icon so you're notified as soon as new videos come out. Brian, has Skywalker signed a new contract? He offered him? No idea. I guess he hasn't. Otherwise, it would have been on the City website. And to be honest, that talk about him going to, was it Bayern Munich? It was just talk. Maybe it was his agent trying to get a bit more money for Kyle for his contract extension. Fagri Daniel says, after watching Piers Morgan, I can't say that word. I am now more certain that City are innocent. They could have, to go back and look at old stuff and pretend it's new stuff. Hey, isn't that Piers Morgan all over? Drace, it's amazing how clubs established in the 1800s can be accused of having no history. Majority of EPL clubs have rich histories. Yeah, you don't need to be winning stuff to have history. You just need to have existed to have history. And remember, City won a reasonable amount of trophies. City have a long history, been one of the best supported clubs. You know, biggest attendance outside of Wembley, Main Road, FA Cup. Bernard knows the numbers against Stoke City, FA Cup 6th round, where we had 80,000 people there. It happens. You know, City had a I've always had a good, strong fan base. United exploded with the European Cup in the 60s, and with the 90s, United fan base exploded, and that's what helped to drag in a lot of money for them, and they've been living off that ever since. Let's read this. Man City just want to click on views too. That's why they view bottles are real. I don't know what that means. I don't know what all that means. I think there's a dodge. Someone said there was a dodgy video going out anyway around. Is this Frenkie de Jong talk real or just Barca trying to get him off the books again? Don't know. I don't know. But I can't see it. I mean, it's a possibility. If Bernardo goes, would you take Frenkie? You know, I wanted him. I wanted Frenkie de Jong and Mathis de Ligt a few seasons back when they were leaving Ajax, but it didn't happen, and I just can't see Pep going back. Let's see what Dre says. I was amazed to learn from you that why City called United Rags. United used to be grateful to City for contributing to their history. Pundits should mention that. Absolutely. Well, United called themselves the Red Devils, yeah, and that came from Salford, the rugby league club, Salford Red Devils. They stole that. They steal that, they can steal everything. Game Killer says, imagine if Glazers pull out the plug on. I think that's a possibility. You know, they've enjoyed this bit in the limelight. I think they would really be content with getting some investment into United, realize some of their money back, but keep control and keep a big chunk of shares. I just think that's what they want. They don't really want anything to change, except they want a bit more money. Dre, what's Dre saying? The De Jong news is a bit too fresh. We'd wait a few days, see how it progresses. Absolutely right. It always happens. We get chatting away and we don't get to the meat of what we're talking about. Right. Arsenal. Okay. Arsenal have spent a shed load, and I mean a shed load of money over the last 2 years, okay, on transfers. And I've not got a list. I'm just saying what they took from us. They took Gabriel Jesus and they took Olex Zinchenko for whatever it was, 65, 75 million quid last summer. It was a fair bit of money, might be a bit more, but around that sort of level, off the top of my head. It doesn't matter that much. And then they got other people in as well. Already so far, looks like they're getting Declan Rice for £105 million. Wow, £105 million. They got Kai Havertz for £65 million. That's up to about 170. And they're going to get this fella, Justin Timber or Justin Timberlake to his friends for about 40 million quid. By my reckoning, that's the best part of £210 million this summer alone. And I don't think Arsenal have finished. Oh, did I mention Leandro Trossard was about 15 million quid and Jorginho as well? Those two about 12, 15 million quid each. You know, that makes Arsenal spend well over 3. I think basically Arsenal spend over the last 2 years is hitting £400 million. So that again, £400 million. It's an absolute bucket load of money that Arsenal have spent. A bucket load. And their fans still have the audacity to criticise City for spending money. They still have a pop. They've just spent £400 million in 2 years on players. That's a hell of a lot of money. And as I said, they haven't finished yet. They're still going to go out and spend some more. And to top it off, I was reading today, and I knew Kai Havertz was going to get paid well. Okay? I knew he was going to get paid well. But between them, Havertz and Declan Rice are earning £675,000 per week. £675,000 per week. Let that sink in. Off the top of my head, that's going to be about £32.5 million. Wow. I mean, as one guy says, W-O-W. Wow. Unbelievable. £675,000. Now, if that was KDB and Bernardo, or KDB and Gundogan, yeah, they're worth it. But Kai Havertz and Declan Rice, £675,000 for the pair of them. It is a wow moment. Absolutely crazy. Crazy transfer fees, crazy wages. And think about it. For spending £400 million, spending untold more on wages, surely Arsenal should be winning the Premier League title next season. As I said earlier, some of their, or quite a chunk of their deluded fans think they will. But I asked this question. The Arsenal we saw last season, I mean, could you split it into two halves of the season? Could be 2/3 and 1/3, but let's split it down the middle. First half of the season, 50 points in 19 games. Second half of the season, okay, something like 34 points in 19 games. That's scraping, fighting for Champions League territory. If you are just squeezing into the top four, if you extrapolate that over the full season. So I don't think, if that, look, who's to say? We don't know. Who's to say the first half of the season wasn't just a flash in the pan, wasn't just an aberration, and that the second half of the season was the real Arsenal we know and love, chucking games away. Okay? Their fans thought they'd won it by Christmas. They thought coming up to Easter, they were still in the driving seat. They were. And they thought they were going to win it. I've seen pictures, obviously we don't know how true they are, but I've seen pictures of the Arsenal shirt, the 23 champions written on the back, that they apparently got ready for when they won the title. The fact is they lost it by 5 points, and really, if City had something to play for, I don't think we get beat by Brentford. I don't think we draw with, was it Brighton? I think we win those last two games and would have finished well clear of Arsenal, 10 points clear. But we had a night to play for, played the kids, and it went down a bit, didn't it, after that? So you know, we weren't that bothered. We were saving ourselves for bigger, and dare I say, better things. There we had the FA Cup and the Champions League to play. So we were resting players. So Arsenal have spent an absolute shed load of money, and they've got to be winning the title. They have to. If they don't win the title this season, then surely Mikel Arteta is a fraud, and Arsenal fans are frauds. And I'll tell you now, 2 seasons ago, they should have got Champions League football, and they bottled it and let Spurs sneak in. Last season, they should have won the league. They bottled it again. Now, if you bottle it once, okay, we can accept that. You're inexperienced. They've got a young team, fair dues. But to bottle it a second time, that makes you start to worry. You should worry if you're Arsenal fans that something's not quite right here, that they haven't got that moral fortitude to fight and fight on and make sure they win. So if I was an Arsenal fan, yeah, sure, I would be concerned. I'd be concerned about that. But we are where we are. So, as I said, their fans thought they'd win it. They bottled it. They chucked it away. But after having spent so much money on transfers, so much money on wages, surely they must be in a position to buy the title. Because, hey, that's what they say City did. They say City bought the title. So Arsenal should be in a position to buy it. To be honest, we've heard it before from somebody. I don't think they're going to win the title next season. I think they'll have a problem playing Champions League football. Now, this season they played Europa League football, and then they got knocked out near the end. I freed them up. They should have won it. They should have won the league. It will play 1 game a week, while City will play 2 or 3. But I think the Champions League football will be a drain on them. All right, they won't be, I don't think, flying to so many far-off countries in middle of nowhere. But I think the Champions League will drain some life out of them. They're going to need new legs. They're going to need more legs. They need new players. Players will come, players will go. Obviously, we've mentioned 3 names already. I think they need 2 or 3 more because the quality really wasn't there all the time off the bench. You know, it's quite funny. Sometimes when people say, silly fans say, oh, X, Y, and Z cost this much, and your X, Y, and Z cost this much. And there's one Arsenal fan, he included Emile Smith-Rowe in his list of 3 players because obviously he's, I think, homegrown. He cost them now or cost them very little. The fella never started a game last season. How can you include him? You know, when you got Rodri on the other side playing 51 games and you want to pick a guy who's not started, probably playing a few sub games, but Rodri, I would dare say, started 48, 49 of his games. Best part of all of them. So if Arsenal don't win it this season, they're frauds and failures. Same with Liverpool. They've got 2 big players. They're going to get more. So if they can't be challenging for the title, not challenging, winning the title. I mean, if Klopp is so good, why have they gone backwards when Sadio Mane's left? Why have they dropped off a cliff when they lost Sadio Mane? Was Sadio Mane doing that much on his own? Who knows? Let's go through some more points. Dre says, reality is that Glazers were who United deserved. Nobody can convince me that they weren't suspicious before they got welcomed to United fold. If United were doing better, would it even be news? Look, you know, you had Dubai. Was it Dubai bidding for Liverpool years and years ago before Gillette, when they had Gillette and Hicks? Qatar now bidding for United. Oil money. But when it's Liverpool and Man United potentially having Arab bonus, it's all right. When Arsenal are sponsored by Emirates, it's called Emirates Stadium, and you got their name emblazoned across your shirts. Remind me again, who are Emirates? Emirates Airlines, owned by Dubai, another oil country. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter now, does it? And the Arsenal fans who want to have a pop at City's owner because saying that UAE don't have are not very good on human rights. Hang on. Isn't your shirt sleeve sponsored by Rwanda? So, guys, these Arsenal fans need to stay in their lane. Let's go through some more points. Fagri Daniels. Man City's owners are accused of buying the club for the purpose of sports washing. Revenue of 700 million says that maybe they invested to actually make money. Look, they've made a ton of money. They made a ton of money because they paid what they paid, and they sold some shares to Chinese Media Capital, CMC. I can't remember now, 10% or whatever it was. And then they sold a load of shares. It might have been 13% for about 284 million quid. Then they sold 10% of CFG, the company that owns Manchester City and as well as lots of clubs around the world. They sold 10% of that to, was it Clear Lake? Silver Lake Investments in America, $500 million. It's a question I'm going to ask Colin Savage later on. How much is City worth? If United are worth 4 or 5 billion, the Clear Lake investment valued City at 500 million. Okay, it's not on the open market, but if they bought 10% for 50 million, surely 100% would cost you 500 million. Oh, 5 billion, sorry. Not 50 million. They bought 10% for $500 million. 100% would cost you $5 billion. So I'm using that as a guide. Right, I'm going to start winding. I'm absolutely knackered, guys. Too many late nights or early starts. Arsenal taking a big chance. I think Arteta and the performance last year is giving them hope for me. It'll take City dropping off a bit for Arsenal getting returns. I said this beginning of the season. To beat City, you're going to have to score. You have to get at least 90 points, probably a bit more than that. City finished with 89. If Arsenal got 90, they would have won the league. But as I said earlier, I think City could have gotten better results against Brighton and Brentford and finished with 94 points. If someone was pushing us, and unfortunately for Arsenal, they weren't able to push us. Grace's Arsenal fans are also delusional when stating they had no squad depth last season. So why did they spend in January for? Yeah, absolutely. Well, they did spend. They got Trossard in January, didn't they? What that entitled view is that they can become they can, because Arsenal are a big club. Absolutely, Sean. Chelsea should be investigated for money laundering. Don't know about that. The PIF owns a stake in Chelsea and owns a stake in Saudi clubs. That's a different issue. Hey, Sean. Shan, not Sean. Hope you're well, Shan. Long time, yeah. Thanks to keep the content going. I think we need to fill in the mid and get a winger. Well, I think that's where Philip Foden is going to end up. And yes, I would like a new winger, someone with pace, dribbling ability, a few tricks, and doesn't lose the ball, scores a good goal. I think everybody would love someone like that. Didn't Brentford do the double over you? Weird for you to say you have. Look, the thing is, we played with half a team that last game because there was nothing to win. It was a dead rubber for us. If there'd been something on the line, ask Liverpool. Ask Liverpool if someone's on the line, what City can achieve. So if something was on the line, I think City win that game. They don't pick half a team; they pick a full team. Arsenal's fixtures are not easy. I don't doubt they'll get 50 points after 19 games. I don't think they will either. Chances we can't afford Bernardo to leave. Any updates? No updates, mate. Obviously, you feel the longer he hasn't left, the more chance that he'd be staying. Must have been a pretty similar feeling to bottling. Casey, oh, come on, man. How salty are you, buddy? Salty. There's a huge difference between losing a game of football and bottling 5 or 6 games of football. Huge difference, Cassie. I think you're on the wrong video. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't mind. A little salt is good for them and absolutely drain. Well, at least Cassie can see Arsenal bottled it. Too much salt constricts the throat and can cause choking. You're wrong, Cassie. I've just told you why you're wrong. You lose a game of football. There's a lot of luck in the Champions League, and City were lucky to win it. Obviously, we're very, very good as well. There's no denying that. We were very, very good indeed. But there's a lot of luck involved, and in the past, City didn't have that luck. Simple as that. Sean says, that's not only the latest phase of the process go easy. Casey said, I'm legit trying to have an honest debate with you. I've just told you what you're wrong about. Okay, yes, I might be slightly behind time, but I've just told you what you're wrong about. Pretty much everything. Nobody tries to have any legit discussion and use the word clowns. It's true. When getting hammered, what would you expect? You're in the wrong form. Absolutely. Casey's back. We use the word clown in my latest. Watch your series for answer. I've answered it. You clown. Charlie Caroli. I'm funny why thanks. Let's go through this. Brentford beat is the first time, but you were talking about the double. And I said quite legitimately that I don't think Brentford would have beaten us a second time if there was something on the line. Everybody knows City come on strong in the second half of the season. Mando Aguilar, biggest bottle job since United 2012. Aguero. Who we got here now? The Mad Hatter. Come on, man. Cassie's gone. We Chelsea in the final. That was all again for the Champions League. City lost this Champions League. City, absolutely, we won everything. Hey, Faris, how you doing, mate? I'm all right. We're doing loads of videos, mate. We've been on almost every night with Bernard and Mike most nights. Sometimes just Bernard and me, and today just me. And tonight, I'll let you know, Faris, I'm sure you'll be interested in this. We'll be recording a video with Colin Savage, Presswitch Blue, finance expert, football finance expert, and we'll be talking about football finances. And we're talking about why FFP came into existence and the dubious nature of his existence. We'll be talking about City's checkered history with that. Then we're going to move on to another video where we'll talk about what happened. What happened with I'll get it right. What happened with the UEFA charges, not the Premier League ones. The second video is about the UEFA charges and CAS verdict and why people still drag that up, and even though they're ignorant about what actually happened. And the third video will be about the 115 Premier League charges and the 115 Premier League charges, and Piers Morgan's video, a program a few days ago. And we're going to do another video after that because those three are all kind of all linked. And the fourth one we'll end up doing, hopefully we'll have enough time, will be about City's turnover for this year just gone, which is set to break the £700 million barrier. Right, last few points, excuse me, and then I'm going to have a break before we start filming with the guys. Well, I know. I do fancy my own opinion. Arsenal must win the league. After spending £400 million, £400 million on players, you cannot say you've not been backed. Arteta's been backed in that market. And I read today, Paris, that Kai Havertz and Declan Rice combined wages will be £675,000 a week. A week. I mean, that's placing them in KDB territory. And they're not KDB, nothing like. Even when Brentford beat City, it was barely, and due to resting places, was physically outmatching Brentford. This was not the last game of the season. That's why I said the last game of the season, City would have won that if we needed to. Yeah, we're champions, John, absolutely. Man City played Brentford last week before the World Cup and at the end of the season when it did not matter. The second one, I've got to be said, I've said that already. You've been sick. Oh, man, I hope you're feeling better, buddy. Hope you're feeling better. The man had to, we absolutely bottled the Champions League versus Real Madrid and Chelsea, but I'm fine with it. Learn and move on, which we did. And Arsenal bottled it for the last 2 seasons. They didn't learn. They didn't learn. You don't get a trophy for doing the double over a team. Last time I checked. Yep, tell me if I'm wrong. Nah, behave yourself, Casey. We were 3-0 up. When was that? My mind's boggling me. Mine's boggling me. We'll never forget how the media and rivals put pressure on us to win after spending a lot. Absolutely, Faris. They were on our case all the time. It's our turn. We've turned the tables on them. We'll give it them some back. I think I got a treble jersey before the winning closes today. You? Oh, treble. No. See, my lads bought me a shirt, a new home shirt. My lads bought me one of them with Ray on the back. They bought me that for Father's Day. And then Mike Long, both from the Blue, he bought me a shirt as well. You know, for all the hard work we've done on the Both from the Blue podcast this season. So I'll wait to see I'll go and have a look what the goalie shirts are. And I might have a look at them. But to be honest, City just milking us. We buy loads. Look at this one. I bought this one only a few months ago. I've got, not only did I bought this a few months ago, I've got a big oversized jersey, like a bit like an ice hockey player. It's not as big as that, but it's one of these oversized ones. I've got one of them. I don't know why. I really don't. I got Mike one as well, so I might even put that on eBay and sell that. I think you can't get them anymore. I can't be bothered with Casey. Arsenal in his first 3 years spent more than Pep did in his first 3 years. There you go. Absolutely. People can't handle that. Losing to quality in Real Madrid last 5 minutes. Well, they scored the goals, but did they score 3 goals in 10 minutes? I don't remember that. Real Madrid got lucky last year. Everybody knows that. City outplayed them, and they got lucky. Luck is involved in a game of football. This year, as Dre says, we walloped them. And we know Casey supports Arsenal. But if all goes past the Kings, that was a statement. Absolutely, Mando. Yeah, it is. It is going to be really tough for these Arsenal, these goons, for them to take. No, I did not order the treble jersey, Faris. I just, I spent so much. Look, I actually said to me, Mrs. the other last week or week before, I've got well over 100 shirts, jackets. I've got a load of jackets, t-shirts and stuff, Man City stuff, and I'm tempted to start shifting some out because I've just got too much. I don't wear them anymore. I don't go down the gym that much. Don't wear my colours down the gym anyway now. In France, I used to, but I just got too much stuff, mate, and keep buying more and more. I mean, having said that, I bought this just, probably a couple of months ago, so I can't stop but I'm trying. Man, tons of messages. I'm gonna have to start reading some of these. Oh yeah, they're absolutely milkers dry, man. The way to do it now is nip down. Actually, down the Puma shop. I go down to one of the outlet malls and go to the Puma shop, and you get some good priced items there. I bought some decent stuff from them. Obviously, you don't get a discount on the newest shirts. Oh, you going right? Club World Cup. Wow, where's that? I can't remember where it is, but I can't remember where it is, and I'm not sure what. Let me have a look. Club World Cup, because I haven't even looked at that. Club World Cup in December in Qatar. Here's the thing: my brother is working out there in Qatar. Now we were supposed, but the thing is, December's a really busy time for me. You know, do I give up work? Do I give up the trip to France, or do I go to Qatar for 10 days? I might ask my brother about that. I'll ask him about that. But we don't know when. But I'll ask him about that. I'll see if I can get tickets. Why not? Why not, Mike? Maybe if I do go out to Qatar, I can report every day with Faris, or once or twice. Maybe you don't want to do that every day. Last time I was out in Qatar, I was reporting quite regularly. So maybe it was a Champions League final. Like, you know, on top of losing to Chelsea, which wasn't. Did we? I'm trying to remember, Casey Reddy. If City lost to Real Madrid in a Champions League final, you're going to have to remind me. I remember losing in a semi-final. Mate, when you're making accusations like this, details matter. No idea, Faris. No idea. If the tickets are cheap, buy one on each end. Yeah. Let's keep going through some comments, then I'm going to get out, get a coffee, and get ready for the other stuff. Is it in Saudi Arabia? Oh, I don't know what's going on. Yep, there you go, Manhattan. Is it in Saudi Arabia? I just did a quick search on Google, Club World Cup. Or maybe I'm wrong. If it's in Saudi, do I go? Let's have a look. Of the 2025. City qualified for 23 and 25. So where's the 2023 one? I'm going to get pelters for this if I do this. So 2025 is in America. Let's have a look. Or is it Saudi Arabia? Oh, dear. Saudi Arabia from the 12th to 22nd of December. So who's in it? Manchester City, Urawa Red Diamonds, winners of the Asian Football AFC Champions League. You got Al Ali, who are Egyptian, winners of the CAF Champions League. You got Lyon, who are from CONCACAF, Auckland City, and Al Ittihad, who are the hosts. So that'll be interesting. I might go. This is going to be really funny. I might go. I've got my brother-in-law is living and working in Saudi Arabia, and he's asking us when we're coming over because we've been trying to go over. Maybe let me just check. But I'd have to empty my diary for that time. Oh. I need to speak to one of my friends. She's had a bad day working for me, so I'll have to go and sort that out with her. Right, guys, I will knock it on the head. Yeah, I've been just checking about. Well, it's not another stream, Faris. It's because we're recording a lot of stuff. It's not going to be another stream. I'm recording with the guys, and that'll go out. The videos will come out tomorrow. So, we might put all 3 of the first section of videos because they're all a series. They might come out all at the same time tomorrow. I don't fancy milking it and putting one out a day for the next 3 days, but hey, it saves me doing other work, and I've got a really busy schedule, but I want to get these out as soon as we can. Guys, look after yourselves. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit that bell icon so you're notified as soon as new videos come out, and we'll be there. Come on, City, next season. That's not my pretend boxing. You can tell I'm tired. My pretend boxing, very weak boxing there. I'd get battered if I was boxing like that. Right, guys, you take care, and we will see you tomorrow. Hopefully. See you around Blues.